Spin the Yarn is a local storytelling group. What we want to do is give people a stage, everyday people like you guys, to tell your story because we want to hear it. And we hope that this will give us a bit of a reminder that we have a shared experience in humanity, and we would also like it to kind of connect different people from different backgrounds in our community. That's the aim anyway, so hopefully this will be the first of many. And there are only 3 rules for our storytellers tonight. I'm going to put these on. And those are, number 1, the story has to be true. Number 2, it has to be a personal experience, so not something that happened to your dad or your mum or your dealer or your lover or whatever. And number 3, you have 10 minutes to tell it. If you finish before 10 minutes, that's fine. We're not going to be too strict. And that's basically it. Those are the rules. I also want to say thank you to the Tub for hosting us in their newly refurbished gaff. These are really great guys. They not only supported us, but they support local bands and a really cool music scene in Hastings. You can see bands here that you can't see anywhere else in the town, and so follow them, like them on Facebook, and support your local venues because they're very cool.
Apparently I was good at the recorder at school. I wasn't good at the recorder. My mum gave me a recorder, and then at the end of one lesson was told that I was going to go and play in an orchestra on my recorder that I'd never used before, which gave me a huge amount of panic. This panic-stricken feeling from my whole body where I should have just said, I think, no, it's not me, I can't play the recorder. I didn't do that. I went into the school hall, I got my recorder out, sat in a room with 30 other musicians and pretended to blow into a recorder that I wasn't actually even blowing into. And it was one of the most painful moments of my life. And my mum made me do that every day for about 2 months before I finally admitted to her I'd never actually made a toot out of my recorder. And most people think it's really sad, and it's okay, it was character building. But this is something that I'm still doing to this day, really, when I get that grief, panic-stricken, all over my body, that kind of feeling where you're just like, oh my god, I just want to tell somebody I don't want to do this. And I've done it so many times. So I've got a whole list of those things that I've done in my life. So the first one on my title was when I was about 2 years old, and it's called Bead Up My Nose. So I was in the back of the car with my brother and sister going to school, and I had a small pink bead, which I had a look at and thought, I think that probably smells of strawberries if it's pink. And slowly inserted it into my nose as my sister was crying next to me, and got it jammed. And I remember sitting in the car for about 20 minutes, trying to get it out and poking it further and further up my nose. Then trying to blow it out the other side. Still, my mum hadn't noticed anything had happened yet because she was looking after the other 2. Until about 3 hours later, I just went, Mum, and held my head up and showed her the inside of my nose where there was a bead lodged almost into my brain. And when she asked me why I did it, I said, because it fits. And I thought that was a way better reason. It was way less embarrassing than saying that I thought it was going to smell of strawberries. That was probably the first time that I'd actually admitted to something that quickly. So I just had this huge problem with panicking and stressing and not being able to talk to anyone about it. It's quite sad, but it's going to get better. I took this quite late on in life and took it to quite big extremes when I had a really ridiculous boyfriend, didn't I, Lee?
She did.
Yeah. I think I knew it for quite a long time, but I just didn't know how to get out of this relationship. So one day, on our year anniversary, took me off to some nice cliff tops, sitting down with rain, made me get out of the car, and turned around and he was on one knee. And I was just about to say to him, what did you do? I jumped off this cliff. And turned around and saw him on one knee, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I said yes. And we got engaged. It was really nice. And I remember thinking in my head, it's okay, we're not actually married. And I thought, that's not the way I'm supposed to get engaged. So anyway, got engaged to this chap. We then proceeded to book a round the world year travel together, which everyone was really excited about. So went to London the night before, went out for dinner with him and my sister. And my sister said, "You don't have to go." And I was like, "Well, I do have to go." She's like, "No, you don't. Don't go. Don't do it." So it took me about 2 years, basically, and the night before we were getting on a plane to go around the world together, to say, "I'm not actually going to do this." In which case I'm fine, and I didn't marry him.
Yay! It's 1994 and I'm 14 and I'm a student in a Devon high school in a small town called Tiverton, or more accurately known as Tiverton, or actually more accurately known as Tivoli. So basically, I'm at this school, and it's a pretty scary place. It's what you would probably call a rough school now and then. The most ferocious bullies in the school were all girls, funnily enough, and we used to refer to them always by their full names in sentences like, "Talia Harvey just beat Napier up in the car park." Oh my god. So, that's life in Tilly High. And I think what encapsulates this like perfectly was a tiny bit of graffiti scrawled on one of the toilet doors in, guess where? The girls' toilets. And it said something like, "Karen Brockwood is a fucking slag." And someone had written beneath it, scrawled in different coloured biro, "Fuck off, you bitch. She's quite nice once you get to know her." And that kind of just summed up my school experience. So it was during this time, I was in the 9th year, and it's kind of a really weird transitional phase. Like, we're not old enough really to go to clubs without the panic of being ID'd, and we're just starting to smoke, there's bongs, someone's dropping acid over there, it's all, we're not old enough to do things, but we're trying to do things, so it's a bit of an awkward time. And it's at this time that I developed a very strong crush on Jamie Cook. And Jamie Cook was in my year, and usually I reserved my crushes for the older guys, like the 16, 17, 18-year-olds. But Jamie Cook was really sweet, and he had really lovely blue eyes and a cheeky smile, and a lovely pair of curtains, which if you grew up in the 90s you'll understand. And so I thought, yeah, he moves in my social circles, he's totally attainable. So I did attain him, and we went on our first and only date. And because we're 14, obviously the venue for our date was the local cinema. So we ended up going to the Tivoli, and which is the cinema, and the film de jour was Schindler's List. So we thought, yeah, we'll go to this. This is it. That's the one. That's the one we're going to see. So we went, and I don't think we quite understood the gravity of what we were about to watch. So yeah, it was already awkward and tense because it's a 14-year-old's date, but it was also just really tense because it was Schindler's List. And so we dived into this film, and I think the problem is it was a date between 14-year-olds, and we knew at some point we were going to have to get off with each other because that's what you do. And we had to go back to school the next day and report it to our mates. So what I'm about to say next, I'm really not proud of, and I'm really ashamed of it. And it's haunted me for a very long time, and I think this is the very reason that this was our first and only date. We I guess the Americans would say we made out during Schindler's List, and I'm really sorry to say that. And it was just really not, it was just the way I don't even remember who went in first or what happened, but it was just sloppy and snoggy and aggressive and ew. And it was we were definitely both only doing it because we thought we had to, and we both knew deep down that this was so morally repugnant because there was some really heavy shit happening on the street. And we knew that everyone else around us was really grossed out by the fact we were doing this. And yeah, this memory has been squished down and repressed. And so I saw an episode of Seinfeld years later when I was watching back-to-back episodes, and this Jerry Seinfeld does exactly the same thing. He makes out with his girlfriend during Schindler's List. But in the episode, his nemesis, Newman, sees them, and he tells Jerry's parents, and they're Jewish. So all hell breaks loose. And so I think I remember that memory. It kind of creeps up. And I'm like, oh my God, I did that. But you know, it's not so bad because like my mum didn't find out. And also my Jewish auntie who lives in Israel, she didn't find out. So it's okay. So basically I was like, okay, well it's not as bad as what happened to Jerry. So it's okay. And I just pushed the memory back down again, deep down, lid on. Until about 22 years after the actual event, you know, I'd moved on with my life. Jamie was gone. I escaped from Tiverton and I had quite a successful career in film and TV. And I got a pretty good job in a really big TV broadcasting place in London. So I was working there and I was just getting on with my job one day and I got like we have this internal messaging system, and so this message pings up and it's like, hi Lee, oh my God, I thought it was you in the canteen. God, how are you? And I looked at it and I looked at the name and I looked at the little picture that comes up with the name and I was like, holy shit. And that memory just came like crying out of that box that I'd repressed and just like slapped me fucking in the face, and it was like, oh my God, it's Jamie Cook. And not only was it Jamie Cook from Tiverton, but it was also Jamie Cook, head of HR for this like massive company that I was working at. And I just thought, my God, things really do come back to bite you, you know? So if you ever feel like you're doing something morally repugnant, just think twice, my friend, because you never know. This guy could be like a bajillion people above you in the food chain.
It happened when I was about 14 years old, and it was the first time that my parents ever left me at home in charge of the house. And what I had to do was take care of the cats, feed the dog, clean the house, make sure I didn't have any parties, which I did. Okay. So yeah, they were my responsibilities for the week that my parents were gone. So I had this mad party, shit went down, people got fucked, the house got fucked, I got fucked, we all got fucked in the house that I was in, taken care of. I forgot about the cats, I forgot about the fish. I didn't feed them for like few days. It's fine. I'm sorry to anyone that loves animals and shit, but it's a pretty harsh story towards them. But so it was the night before they get home, and I've got to clean this whole house up. So I put the laundry on, and I start doing the drying. And as I'm doing the drying, I start sweeping the cupboards, and I can hear this. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is that sound? Where the hell does that come from? But I liked it anyway. So I started doing the hoovering, and I kept carrying hearing this. Where the fuck is that coming from? I just carried on anyway, doing my hoovering, and put more clothes in the washing, waiting for the tumble drying to finish. And I went upstairs, started sweeping all the cobwebs, just getting rid of all the gatter that we just left behind. And all this time I started hearing. But I started grooving to it. I started loving the sound. I started loving that sound. And I started dancing while I was hoovering to the. And then I thought, where the fuck could that possibly come from? And I went downstairs and I realised that one of my cats had disappeared. Right? I've not seen him in like a week. The whole week I've been looking after the cats. I've not seen him. But I didn't think about it, I carried on anyway. I started doing my thing, started like carrying on cleaning the house. A few plates got broken, whatever. I'm loving it, I'm fucking doing good. I'm still on ease, I didn't even know what's going on, I'm loving it. So I go to take a load of washing out, and open the door, and the most puffiest fucking pussy that you'll ever see in your life was sitting in this tumble dry with his tongue out, gasping for air, gasping for any sort of hydration. It survived, but not for long.
Right. Well, I think my tale, like everybody's so far, is going to start from when I was a boy. And I think the lesson's about what kind of sexuality I was going to choose in later life. And I was only 8 at the time, and I was into media, as everybody is, and Back to the Future just came out. And so I watched this film with Michael J. Fox, and what I liked about it wasn't at all to do with time travel or anything to do with science or terrorism. But it was the fact that I think, like some Greek philosophers and relatively contemporary psychologists, it was the fact that one day I thought that I was going to have my mum as my girlfriend. And in the film, Michael J. Fox's mum really fancies him. And I thought, this bloke's cracked it. He's, I mean, obviously he's had to go through some long lengths to realise that his mum, not to realise, but anyway, I thought there's something he's done that he's never, like, I've never, sorry. But I was really into magazines as well then, so I used to get Looking, and which was a shit magazine for children about the telly and what was on. But it used to have adverts for other magazines, and one of them was Michael J. Fox Profile, which had lots of pictures of Michael J. Fox in it, in various, you know, hanging out at his house and whatever. And so I didn't really want people to know in my local area that I wanted this magazine, and so I thought I'd better concoct a story, because you couldn't just get it off the shelf. It was quite a rare magazine, you had to order it from the newsagent. So I thought well, it wasn't a story because I'm not much of a liar, but my sister had to go to hospital, and I thought I'd give her a present, and this Michael J. Fox Profile magazine would be the one. So I explained this there and ordered the magazine. A few weeks later it came in, and I went up to the newsagent and I looked in his eye. I took it home and I was looking through the pages, and it was Michael J. Fox, and some of them he was just at his pool and he had his top off, and it was fine. I wasn't feeling sexual towards him while I was looking at it. I thought, I've just got a problem with my mum. And, so basically, I looked at this magazine and I looked at his bare chest and realised that I did in the end like women. And the subsequent 15 sexual encounters with men have further told me that I do like women. And that's my story.
But, yeah, exactly. So I have to say, you're all the way across the Irish Sea to Raheny, North Dublin, and I was just a wee man, about 8, I suppose, and I was in the foster home. It was kind of shite, actually. But it was better than the children's home, where Father Brennan reigned supreme. Father Brennan was the lights out dude, and so he used to do the night prayer in a little dormitory, and he was obsessed with little boys' cocks. Jesus, he was fucking mad about cocks, right? And so he'd go up and down like with his habit on, you know, and say, "Now, lads, now. Let's imagine in the night, now. You feel yourself stiffening, you know what I mean, won't you? Feel yourself hardening. Now say you to put your hand on that and stroke yourself. You see, it'd be a sin, wouldn't it? It'd be a sin, boys, if you're polluting yourself like that. And I'm talking about your Mickey. That's what I'm talking about. Right. And I don't know why I fucking brought Father Brennan up. He just came up, I don't know why. But, so he was the nice out. So I escaped him anyhow. So I was in this council house, I guess. And they fostered me, I don't know why. Because they hated me guts. But anyway, across the road was lived Mr Brennan, Mr and Mrs Brennan. And they were great entertainment. And so Mr Brennan was a terrible drunk, and he'd come home, and of course she'd have locked him out, Mrs Brennan. And he'd be knocking on the door there, you know. "Oh, come on, darling, let me know, please, I'm sorry I'm like this. Oh, please, come on, you fucking hooer! let me the fuck in and kick the fucking... Oh, I'm so sorry. Me guts is gone green fucking mouldy waiting for something. I'm sorry. You cunt! And, anyhow, one day I saw Mr Brennan coming back in the state, and he just got in. She must have forgotten to lock the door, but I'd seen her going out. And anyway, in he went, unmolested. And some while later, I saw smoke coming out of the house, right? And then I thought, that's a bit odd. And then I saw a bit more smoke, and a bit more smoke, and a bit more smoke. And I thought, fuck. And I went and I looked in through the letterbox. There's smoke coming out, and I could see up this corridor there was smoke up on the ceiling, but underneath there was like a clear passage and black smoke coming out. And I thought I'd got to go in and save Mr Brennan. I suppose so. There might be a moral here. Don't be a hero, Francie. Don't be a hero. And so I went. I knew I had to close the door behind me. I don't know how I knew that, but I did. I closed the door. And I got in underneath this smoke, and I went into the living room, and the fire was coming out, the smoke was coming out of the kitchen, and it was a classic thing. I don't know if every house used to have a chip pan, like a big pan full of congealed shite, lard or something, animal fat, and because Jesus, and I've often, as a man, I come home and dug out bits of dead chip but anyway, he switched it on, and it had gone on fire, and anyhow. So Mr Brennan's in his armchair, asleep, drunk, you know, and I snuck in under the smoke, and I was, come on, Mr Brennan, you've got to come out, the house is on fire. And he go, fuck off, you cunt! I'll fucking knock you out! Fuck off! I'll fight you! And somehow I managed to drag him out. I don't know how. And I got punched. I got my head punched in by Mr Brennan. And Jesus, I was only saving his fucking life. Right.